This video, we're breaking down pension plans, and what a pension plan is most people consider it to be the best form of a retirement plan. However, one thing to know is they are becoming increasingly rare. And if you think about it generationally, you have the boomers, and then we have the younger generations, millennials and Generation Z. And pension plans are actually very frequent amongst boomers. However, they're becoming very, very rare and not offered nearly as much, or they're either watered down versions to millennials and Generation Z. We'll break that down at the end. So let's first break down what a pension plan is and how it works. So let's say you're hired at some company or organization, and we're going to plot the time worked at the company or organization down here, going from left to right, and we're going to put your pension fund over here. So the way pensions work, it's pretty simple. The longer you work at this company or organization, the more the company or organization contributes to your pension fund. So you work a few years there, they're going to have a little bit built up, and you keep working there, you stay for longer and longer periods of time. That pension fund is going to continue to build up because the company keeps donating to it. And before you know it, you get towards the end of your career there, and you have this huge pension fund built up, and now you're pretty happy. So what do you do with this pension fund that's built up over this time? Well, really, there's three main options that you can choose for your pension plan. The first is you're going to get guaranteed set payments for the rest of your life. The second is that you could take all of the money in one lump sum. And then third is you could take some combination of the two of those first two choices. So let's look at these in a little more detail, all three. And we'll start with option one, guaranteed set payments for the rest of your life. And this truly is what it sounds like. This is guaranteed set payments for the rest of your life. And this usually also does include a guaranteed percent increase each year to counter inflation, because if inflation prices are going up 3-4%, that means over time you would lose money and your buying power is going down. But most pension plans do include these guaranteed increases, usually 5 to 7% each year. So you actually are staying ahead of inflation and your buying power stays strong. And another thing to note about these is that even if your funds run out, the company or organization must pay you the agreed upon amount plus those increases, full stop, no matter what. They owe it to you in these plans legally, so you will get these no matter what. And that's why these guaranteed set payments are the safest option, as you essentially have monthly cash flow guaranteed to you for the rest of your life. And again, it is theoretically, these payments are infinite. Theoretically infinite. You could live to 175, and legally you have to get these payments from the company or organization that you had the pension plan with. So that's option one, guaranteed set payments for life. Let's look now at option two. Let's say you decide to take all the money in one lump sum, and that's again what it sounds like. That's it. If you retire and you decide to take all the money from the fund that's built up at retirement. And the idea why people do this is that you would actually invest that money yourself and gain interest off the investments, and that you'd really have to be very strong in your investment capabilities, because to beat those set payments for life, you have to be doing very, very well in the market each year. And a thing to note about this is that once you take that lump sum, nothing from there on out is guaranteed. And this is the much riskier option because, like I said, in the other one, you have all this guaranteed stuff built in. If you take the money out in one lump sum, you really could make some great investments, and now you'd be really happy because you're rolling in all the money. But you could also theoretically lose all of it, and now you have nothing in retirement. So the key to understanding if you take the money in one lump sum is what you do with the money is on you, and so you have nothing guaranteed or built in for it. And then let's go look at that third option. Third option is you could do some combination of the two, and that's where you could take some of the money in a lump sum in that fund, and so you'll get some money in a lump sum, but you're leaving some in the guaranteed plans. And your guaranteed monthly payments would be smaller, and your payment increases would be smaller than if you took none of it and just took all the payments. So again, you could do some combination of the two is your third option. So that is kind of the basics of pension plans, but you also might be having some questions. What if you get fired from the company or organization you work at, or what if you decide to leave early or go in a different career? And that's where we're going to go over quickly the concept of vesting. Investing is a very important concept to understand when thinking about pension plans, and that's the idea that the longer you stay at the company or organization you're at, the more percent you own of your pension or pension plan. Let's take a look at that again. in this chart. So we're going to add this bar over here, and this is the vested amount of your pension, or think about it as the percent of the pension that you get. So in the first few years, you really have no vested amount. So if you were to leave, even though there's a small amount in the pension fund, like right now, you're 0% vested in it, so you don't get any of that, even though there's not even very much to begin with. But you just keep working, and most companies, you got to work at least 5 to 7 years before you build up a vested amount. And so now you actually have some vested, so you have about 25%. So if you were to leave or get fired, you would get 25% of that pension fund. You keep working, and then it goes up more. So now you're about 45% vested. Keep going, and the vesting keeps going up along with the fund. So if you were to leave here, you get about 65% of that pension plan. And again, it keeps going up, and the more you work, the closer it gets to 100. And then when you can fully retire is when you're fully vested. And so now you have that pension fund built up, and you get 100% of that pension plan. So pensions are so great, as you've seen, for most people, they're a great retirement option. Why are they becoming increasingly rare? And this answer is an easy one. In a word, there's one thing to blame: boomers. And sorry if there's any boomers that are offended by this in the video, but I'm going to explain why right here. And the reason why pensions are becoming increasingly rare is because most baby boomers did have the options for pension plans in their retirement, and most of them picked option 1, guaranteed set payments for the rest of your life. And when these plans were made up, the life expectancy was about 65 years old, but now the average life expectancy is above 75. So these guaranteed set payments are going to keep companies and organizations are going to keep paying these more and more and more than when they built in their calculations to. And essentially, because people are living longer, many pension plans are taking up more and more government and company resources. And because of this, more companies are moving away from pension plans entirely, because people are going to continue living longer, and longer. And so if all companies and organizations went off the same pension plans that they did 20, 30 years ago, that means that they would all go bankrupt, and the government would go bankrupt because they would run out of money to pay to the set payments for life. Because of that, most companies and organizations, especially companies, are moving to a different retirement plan called 401k plans. And that is what we are going to go over next video. And as I end each video, always a reminder to take it easy.